Federal Reserve notes, the fiat dollar. Let us talk about money. It does not take long after our incarnation's beginning for us to form the opinion that money is a powerful thing. Young ones within your culture are taught to work, to give a good effort, to follow certain paths in order to further ambition. These entities are taught that worth is in what one does, and so each growing spirit faces the self, attempts to find that which will earn the money, attempts to prepare the self for doing this, and then spends the life following a certain career or profession. Blessed is the person whose natural path leads her through schooling or preparing for another kind of a job or career that pays her bills and fulfills the needs of her life. For most of us, at least at times, the supply of funds fails. The path for learning to working is not straight, and there is a real question as to how helpful a thing money really is. We can fall prey to money worries very easily, in spite of living in an affluent culture. Those of QO say, the question of supply is perhaps the deepest chasm of irritational concern which seduces your peoples. In the fact of this, we simply suggest that as the healthy regard for money is in being sure of the daily bread, and then allowing concerns to fall away as appropriate, that each simply move each day or each time he feels this concern into a conscious reorientation. Now, this is sound and biblical advice, following as it does the wording of the Lord's Prayer, in which we are told to pray only for that which we need this day for our daily bread. We definitely need a certain amount of supply in order to buy the food to nourish our bodies and to shelter them. All other concerns can and will be handled as best we can. It narrows our area of concern to a size we can handle. This does offer some immediate peace of mind, but the question remains how to evaluate this money that we spend so much time earning and then spending. It is very tempting to try to store up as much of it as possible in an effort to be secure, but in truth, we are never truly secure. If our money is in a bank, the bank can fail. If it is in a stock market, the market can fail. If it is under our mattress, the currency itself can fail. Events can occur, such as a protracted illness, which absorbs our last dime. If we are devoted overly much to amassing this source of monetary supply, we are as understandably and as silly as the cartoon character, Uncle Scrooge, rolling in our pile of coins, but not necessarily being good stewards of the energy and power we have accumulated. Security is a wonderful thing, and I do work to conserve funds so that my life might be securer financially, but there is a sharp difference between appreciating what money can do and loving money. Appreciation and conservation of supply is prudent. Love of money is, as the first apostle of Timothy says, the root of all evil. As my friend Joseph says, The security you felt is an illusion. Tomorrow your dollars may be worthless. Your land could fall out of your hands for a million different reasons. You could wake up dead tomorrow. There are no guarantees you will make it to retirement, much less retire, and much less live happily ever after. The odds are you can live happily ever after, but only if you let go of the bars of the cage, the past, and set your sights on where you are going, the future. The future is eternity. A spiritual approach to money then could even include claiming that money itself is evil, or at least the love of amassing money. Certainly, the teacher known as Jesus felt that the universe would provide what was truly needed, and sent his disciples out on the road with no money whatsoever. And ever since the advent of monastic communities, poverty, along with chastity and obedience, has been one of the three vows taken by those who follow the monastic path by joining such communities. However, to my mind, it is far more near the truth of the situation to see money as a kind of energy that comes to us in varying amounts, but that which, whatever the amount, we can look upon as an energy as potentially spiritual. We can look upon whatever the amount, we can look upon as an energy as potentially spiritual, as sexual, or any other kind of energy. It simply depends on what we do with the money, in our minds and in our actions. To better gain access to a right relationship with money, it is well to place concerns about finances within that holy of holies, which lies within your deep mind. The consciousness of oneness is a consciousness of infinite plenty. The creation is full of all that there is. Every need has that which can meet that need. The consciousness of infinite supply sheds a wisdom light upon the soul besieged by financial worries. But what if you were to alter the term money and subsume it in the term energy? When the term energy is used, this may aid somewhat, for that which is energy does not need to be hoarded, but rather expresses its nature in its potentiation. Thusly, the general rule of thumb is that entities may do that which they must to gain enough energy to survive and be comfortable. This energy may be transmuted by those who see the spectrum of energies so that many things become money. And we feel sure that each can think of many instances where seemingly impossible things have occurred because of the trading of goods and services, rather than the insistence upon some single form of energy. The idea here is to release our thoughts about money from the structures of source and kind, to allow the energy of supply to flow into our lives without unduly worrying about it beyond being sure our expenditures do not overcome our purse. Similarly, when we are asked to be generous to those who need some of this green energy, it is well to think of that mental imagery of energy in motion and be generous stewards of whatever wealth we have. I have one pair of friends who have raised a family, often on practically no money at all, but they have always had just enough for what was needed. Their virtues included building their own house, planting, harvesting, and preserving their own food, putting their children through homeschool till the end of seventh grade, and putting aside a certain dollar amount each and every monetary payday for charitable giving. It has always been my opinion that one reason they have always had plenty is that they have kept the energy moving fearlessly. Certainly, they have taught their children good values of hard work, rewarded by satisfaction, and in their case, a wonderful place to live. But they have taught much more. By the way, they never have hung on to their money, but rather have seen themselves as links in a spiritual chain of giving. There is an example of the man who was extremely virtuous in observation of each and every commandment. Yet when this seeker asked the teacher known as Jesus what more he could do to follow him, the one known as Jesus suggested that this wealthy man sell all that he had and thus be free. This parable has made entities which have a comfortable living nervous ever since these words were heard and written down. The parable is not so much about money or other kinds of wealth as it is about one's relationship to that which comes and goes. The body, for instance, is born and dies. Yet it is not prideful to care for it, that it may be comfortable and serve well. So, with one's estate in life, it is not a crime to conserve one's wealth and to so use it that one is comfortable. Yet, if one wishes to hold onto the body by avoiding getting old or avoiding death, then there is the question of what takes precedence, the body or the soul. With the wealth of money or power, this same question holds true. Is there the relationship of conserver or steward with wealth, so that it may be used prudently or with charity? Or is there the grabbing onto or owning the wealth or influence? If there is the later, then there are some possessions to be sold, so that you may follow the mind, which this instrument often calls Christ consciousness. It is hard sometimes to resist the temptation to be grabby with money and supply. Money changes everything, the song goes, and we all know what that means. The money to go first class will not make us happy, but it can offer us creatures of comfort, which are very pleasant. As in so many spiritual concerns, it is finding that balance between prudence and stewardship on the one hand, and relaxing into the rhythm of supply and meet needs on the other hand. In thinking of money, that is the goal. And further, we can become artists with it and use the issue as one more way to extend our process of seeking. Like virtually any concern, the issue of money offers an avenue whereby the spiritual seeker can learn about himself. The illusion of separation exists so that each portion of the one Creator, the personality that each of you is, may have the opportunity to explore within the one Creator's boundless fields the opportunities for discovering love and service to each other, though these may not seem to be the primary purpose for which each was incarnated. The illusion offers many other alternate answers for why each is here: to gather wealth, to be powerful, to do this or that great thing. All of these are but means by which each entity may find the heart of love and unity within itself. Wanderers have a tendency not to be particularly handy with money, although this, like all generalizations, cannot be held as true in all cases by all means. Here is an example of those who have written in talking about this issue. I have never felt a need to accumulate wealth or goods to meet an inner drive, but have always felt intuitively that pursuing things of this world was not worthwhile. Of course, the Sermon on the Mount likely buttressed this concept, especially Matthew 6:24. One cannot work both sides of the street. 25 years ago, a psychic in South End, England, told me that I would never be in need of money. The supply was assured. My life since that is confirmation of that prediction. She said I would have other troubles. True also. From what I just quote comes from the Gospel according to Matthew is to the effect, we cannot serve both God and Mammon. Mammon being a personified Greek demigod of money and wealth, named from the Greek word for wealth, mammonos. One thing that rings true about money to me is that it is part of the lesson plan of our lives. We were not all destined to have the same amount of this world's comforts. We all did come, however, with an equal amount of love to give and to discover. Within your illusion, depending upon how you have chosen to learn the lessons of love, you will find what you consider to be shortages of power, money, influence, or love. In fact, all of these shortages are some distortion of love and may be viewed as opportunities to discover the true nature of love. If you do not have enough money, you may find that your discomfort distracts you from seeking. But if you exercise another point of view, you may find that your lack of abundance has produced a simplicity that frees you to love. Whatever our destiny for supply, there is virtue in accepting the amount we have and finding a way to live on it and to express generosity with it, with peaceful hearts. Each has designed for himself a special incarnation offering powerful experiences of lack and plenty, pain and peace. If you have little money, think not that you do not deserve more. If you have much money, think not that you deserve less. But whatever your environment, fill it with your love of the Creator and allow that love to reach to the infinity of the Creator's laughing face, that His light may shine infinitely through you, that you may become plenty to others. Money is relevant in your illusion. Enjoy it if you have it. Seek it if you must. Disregard it if you can. But manifest plenty and the consciousness of love. Money is the symbol of love which has been developed by humans to facilitate the movement of goods and services. Its green energy is an illusion within an illusion. The illusion closer to reality is love. Now, let us look at the values of your culture. The emphasis is always upon that which carries what this instrument calls the green energy of money. Some have more, some have less. Needless to say, this is an illusion, for all things belong to the one infinite creator. And as you give and as you receive, you are simply moving the energy around. So much of the power that seems to move our culture is artificial. Let us, in our use of money, remain in real relationship with the energy that is the essence of supply, the infinite love of the one Creator. If we can see supply's infinite source with faith, and if we are generous with whatever we have and keep the energy moving, we will always be able to find our way. As in any generalization, this statement leaves out those who may have fallen through the cracks of the society, who have not eaten today, and who do not have a shelter or cradle their sleep this night. If so, I pray that help may be found, and that right quickly. I sincerely hope that one day soon, food and shelter will be the right of all who take breath on planet Earth. Like my mama told me, money is a tool. Use it wisely. I got a couple bucks. You want to go to a casino? Yeah. Snarf. Love you.